Mbote, yenge kengo, yenge keno, away nusiemi kambote keno, kukisi ambote. All praises to Tata Kongo. I'm going to play my song. Remember, I don't own the rights to it. It's saying I keep getting strikes, but they allow it to be used on YouTube. So, like I said, I don't own the rights to it. It's not for my redistribution of any kind. But I'll begin with my music. All praises, Kimball. Bayete. I hope that you wikichila. Once again, Kukisi Ambote, welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a statement because I know I've been seeing comments on my channel. This channel is for me to continue to grow in my knowledge and spirituality and understanding things. This is for me to do according to the Most High wants. This channel will never cater to the needs or desires of those who have an alternative agenda. So you're welcome to listen and watch, but I am not going to shift gears based upon what people post. So it isn't like you're going to convince me or trick me or continue to do the things that you do, because I understand that this is the one thing that is causing a lot of friction. It's not just among the Black people, but among the whites. Okay, and the problem is that this is why I warned people that there was an agenda to run interference from the beginning. Okay. There's a lot of mystery, a lot of secrets. People are coming out with knowledge. Okay. You can trust the knowledge or you cannot trust the knowledge. That's what your choice is. My choice is to go back to the kingdom of Congo de Ntotila, which is exactly what I had done as a trip. And I also did so in my teachings, is to, and technically, I was already technically there even before I went, because one of my, and that's why I kind of tell people, I grew up, I knew a person from Nigeria who, he and I would always talk about Africa. And that's why when people sit there and they say, oh, well, how do you know so much about Africa? What do you think you know? I have had encounters with Igbo people. So it isn't like I don't know things from the past. It's just that it was a journey from the beginning. I used to watch Shaka Zulu, I don't know how many times when I was a child. And I could tell that something was right and something was wrong. I just couldn't put my finger on it. I could tell that Hollywood did something, but I couldn't tell until I listened to a man tell the story that it was a trashy whole rendition of him, because they told a lot of lies. And then I said, okay, well, now that makes a lot of sense. Why? And then when I heard, and then when I was taken to the song Bayete and Kosi, um, when I started to listen to the song, when the Mwanda was telling me, remember that, because it was a memory that I had as I was starting to get more awakened to certain lies, where they said, remember, go back to the song you heard as a teenager. I was a teenager when I heard this song, and I didn't quite understand it, but it was a song that stuck with me all my life. To like, it's like, why did they sing that song to say that? And when I started to play it, I looked it up, and that's when this song came up, and I said, oh, wow, okay. So it hit me really hard. This is about the time I was working for a company, and they thought I had, I was talking to this one guy, he thought I lost my mind. And I was in a fight and an argument with another person about certain things. And that's how I knew at that time, even when when you're coming into the knowledge, there's always going to be someone to try to say that they can run interference, and try to convince you that where the direction you're heading is wrong. And see, that's why people don't understand, is that even the people who think they know the truth will be used by Lucifer to continue to deter those who think they have the truth. And the problem is that this is why so many of us have discovered, or we say, oh, well, the Bantus, they're not really this and that. And it's because of the fact that there are many of us who are playing on the other side. That doesn't mean that what we're teaching is wrong. All it means is that we have people that are running interference on every plane. And see, the concept is, this is how Cain was going. This, okay, and I'm gonna talk about, there's a teaching coming about the secrets of Solomon's temple, which is great. Today I'm going to talk about the pyramid of Hanukkah. Okay, and people don't understand is that before there was a temple of Solomon, there was a pyramid of Hanukkah. Okay, and the powers that be, they want to always take you to the pyramid of Amun Ra, which they're not telling you that. And it was the whole purpose, and I'm going to talk about the whole purpose of why Nimrod built his tower, that they're now going to act like it didn't happen, okay, is he was trying to basically say, I am Hanukkah. Look, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to build my tower. I'm going to build my pyramid to prove it. Because there were temples in the times of Cain. And there was also places that were built for the Most High's people to the lineage of Insetu. They have covered this up. This is why people will say, oh, all these pyramids, they all go back to Egypt. I'm like, no, Kemet he learned how to build structures from the historical record that came from the lineage of Enseta. And they knew that these particular structures were designed as a communique or a spiritual connection to the gods. The problem is, which God are you communicating with was the issue. Okay. So this is why they want to keep, how pyramids are built a secret, the structures, how to, these type of things, because it's about communication is what they are. Okay. So, and they're also portals. Okay. So when Tatan Zambi took Hanoka up to him, it was through the portal of his pyramid, through his pyramid, through his. Okay, he went up, and the Most High took him. And the people want to talk about, UFO chariot. Okay, fine, that's great, because they have them. But it was like, it was a hidden structure that only. It was like, this is kind of what they say, like when they did the mockery of Wakanda. It was meant to be used by those who had the knowledge and the wisdom of the Most High. Okay. So it was a place where knowledge was brought down to instruct the people. This is why he brought the kings together and he had peace. And then after he left, that's when Lucifer started to do his opposites. Okay. And continue to, so that you can say that, they had the massive trees, they had the massive giants, their whole goal was to make sure that after King Kongo brought the judgment against the Watchers, is that there was going to be nobody to judge them ever again. Okay. So like when Paula said, you shall judge angels, you shall judge this, okay, the concept between the dragon is, I'm going to make you think you're judging me, but you're not. Okay. So he had another temple built several times. And this is where you're going to see the correlation between the temple that Tatanzambi built with Salama, and then this was built by the Malikis that were through the ring, and then they go, and then he's gonna build this temple because he started to love strange women. Okay, and he said that these women are going to turn your heart away from the Most High, and sure enough, these strange women were affiliated with the witch. Okay, the goddess Isis. People started to say they're trying to see the biggest deception is you now have Bantus who are still, that they're coded because they're trying to put the good Solomon and the bad Solomon together. Okay, when in reality they claiming him because he turned into Nimrod. Okay, he turned into Sol Invictus, and this is what created the problem. Okay, in our kingdom. What I'm going to talk about today is the two pyramids. Okay. You had a teaching that was done. All praises for that. Yahya gave the teaching. I'm going to show you that, because I know some things about me. This is why I keep trying to tell people, you really don't know. I was given amnesia for a reason. Okay. I'm unlocking more and more, but they, it's like I knew this concept when I wrote my book. Even on the picture, it shows the one-eyed pyramid. And people I originally thought, okay, I've seen this symbol, it's satanic. He's like, no, they stole it. But of course, I put the wrong cross on the doors at the time because I was still, kind of blinded by the wrong cross. But at that time, it was my knowledge that I had. It was like, I had a vision about who I was. I didn't quite understand it till now. And it's been more and more, because see, the biggest lie that they're ever going to have told the world is how many times the first man has been here. Okay. You don't even know. And how many times the second woman has been here. Okay. Mama Tata Adama and Mama Eva, they know they have been here more than once to help bring back when the people go astray, this is the problem. Okay, they have a role in their voice to say, don't undo what we did. See, in the Christian world, they think that they're listening to the voices of they think that they have received the truth of the God of the temple of Davidi, of Solomon. This is why I say they have really misled people. I'm going to tell a story that part of the reason why I started to ask questions, and I told people when my mom was made Moravian, my dad was raised a Methodist. They don't understand the two doctrines are not the same. Okay, even though my father would tell me, yeah, I never really believed he was white. I don't think he's ever shared this with his siblings, because every time I talk to them, they always act like he was. Because my uncle said, I thought that, my aunt said, he said, my dad's like, no. So I don't know what they talked about, but he claimed he never really believed that he was white either. And then my mom was never raised that he was white. And my grandfather, my grandfather, I'm adopted, but my great grandfather was like Gangan Zombie. This is one of the reasons why he was feared by the Dutch. When Tatanzambi used him to destroy the Dutch. And I heard the story how there was a group of them and they were on the island and they fought and and the Most High had to have been there, because it was like, once again, they were overpowered and they won. So the Most High had to have been in the midst of that. This is what freed the slaves from the Dutch rule. Okay. I think they portrayed him. This is why they portrayed him in a similar fashion in the American Gods with the Anansi, the bottom, when he spoke about go up there and kill these Dutch mother, and I think that people don't understand is this is one of the reasons why you have an issue between the Caribbean and the mainland. The Caribbean slaves broke themselves free before the Americas. So this creates a rift between the two groups, because it's like we freed ourselves. We told these people to go to what, and you guys are still up there, begging these people. What are you doing? And this is the problem. You see, because in the U.S., you had the people who were the house nigger and the field negro who wanted to continue to be with massa. In the Caribbean, my grandfather was like, "We done with you people. We want to kick your butt." They were really like the Uncle Tom. That was, they were trying to mock. They were not the Sambo. This is like the Maroons you see in Jamaica, and you see what happened with Haiti and all these other people. This is the problem: is the Caribbean people think a lot like what the people were doing in Africa, that rose up against the powers that be, that started to do this. Okay. Whereas you see with the American and North American slaves, okay, what transpired was the dumbing down effect. Our rebellions were always controlled. They were always manipulated. There was somebody there, they were leading it, but they were playing both sides. Okay. That was not the case in many times of the Caribbean until the U.S. started to imperialize that region. People don't know this story. They were always fighting against the imperialists. They're like, I don't think so. This is our land. Okay. To prove my point, my grandfather fought against the Rockefellers and the Bilderbergers. Like, nah, you're not getting my land. Okay. So this has always been the reason. Hold on 1 second. Hold. Okay, sorry. The Colele. So this is one of the reasons why people keep saying, "Oh, African Americans are not like the." I'm like, that's because the issue is the slave. Like when you see the lady who runs Barbados, I can't remember. I saw her. She reminds me a lot of people I know back home because she she stood up in the UN and said, "You people, that was the fire that we kind of had with the because see the U.S. Virgin Islands, the U.S. actually helped put out some of this fire when they showed up from the Dutch. Puerto Rico, not so much. Okay, they're like, hey, we know you people out here. That's why they had a fight even into the 1950s. Okay, you see what happened in Cuba. You see what happened in Jamaica. Jamaica was still fighting the British. Okay, they wanted independence and they wanted it where you people get out. Okay, that's kind of how it was. Um, the issue was what many people don't know is that the indoctrination of religion played a role in how they were able to recapture the minds of the people because the Christianized mentality was so strong that you still couldn't break hold of Rome's lies. Now, the reason why the Moravians was such a problem and many of the other Eastern Orthodox beliefs that came into the Caribbean was because they were also fighting Rome. They were like, we don't agree with what Rome is teaching you. Okay. So that was part of the issue there. Okay. Because that mentality from the Moravians was much like the Bantu culture. Okay. So it continued to fire up the people that we don't go along with what Rome tells us all the time. Like what happened with the Christianized concepts that came through the Protestant minded people of Europe and also the Catholicism of the French. That's one of the reasons why there were so many battles against the French because many of the French were still um, Catholic mentality. You had the Protestant fight that was going on between them, and then you had the Eastern Orthodox Church that was also not, which was at that time, like I told you, it was the Byzantine Empire, it was Constantinople, it was Russia. There was still a um, because remember, it didn't become Istanbul until y'all people don't know it till the 1900s. It just recently became Istanbul. It was Constantinople up until the early 1900s. Okay, so that's not something that's recent. Okay, so there was always this war mentality about the beliefs. Okay, so now um, what people don't understand, like in my situation, I was kind of like my great grandfather. Okay, this is what my mom and my dad didn't understand. It's like, and technically, my grandfather, he kind of understood where I was coming from because they knew. Like I told when I went to see, this is how I started with my problem. When we went home for the Caribbean for a long stay, several months during the school year when it was a summer break, we attended the Bible study of the Moravian Church. Now, keep in mind, the year before that, of course, the Bible study that we would go to was the Methodist. Hey, y'all, it's Paula Dean, and I have one question. Sorry about that. So now, when I went to the Moravian, and I mean, people didn't think I was paying attention at that time, but I have a feeling that even then I remember that there were certain things that I was listening to and I was hearing, and I'm like, wait, what? Okay. Because I mean, you gotta understand, they still do a lot of Bantu. They don't. People don't even know. They do a lot of. I didn't realize how much Bantu culture they still do. Like one sister said, and the one sister they still do the fish. They do the fish with the like it does in the Testament of Solomon. She came back and she told me that. and they wear the different colors. And they talked about that. And I remember going to the feast harvest where they brought in the fruits and they came in and they put them on the altar and they started praying over it when we attended during, which we had never gone that late into the summer before. It was like around September or so. And I guess that's when they were doing it. And I think it was more around August. I think it is end of August, around September. Anyway, so they started to do that. And they is it July? I can't remember. I just remember it was still kind of, oh no, it's kind of late. And my wife remembers it better than I do because she was there. But was it in August? Yeah, it was in August. Okay. So yeah, so they came in and they did the prayer and everything. And this is something that I had never witnessed, you know, in any other church at that time. And so the concept is that there are people like even you know, the biggest lie about the Virgin Islands is they only, you know, they celebrated Christmas just because they had to. They preferred the three kings, but then like even in this, they do the same thing in Puerto Rico. It's more about three kings than it is about the Christmas day, which we still know now that even that's kind of off because of the fact that they're still following the Roman calendar. Okay, so now the biggest thing that people don't get, okay, is much of our knowledge did not disappear like they made you think. There were always different rebellious groups that they kept certain things that were considered forbidden knowledge. Okay, I know they had these groups in the Virgin Islands. They had these people in the, the the Caribbean. They had these people in South America. Of course, they had this stuff going on in Africa. You had this going on in Asia, and you even had this going on in the United States. These were the groups that were monitored as to how they would teach anybody anything, knowledge. Okay, because what Tatanzambi, as I understand, was doing at that time was he was preparing for these future events that are now happening. Okay. Um, when I talk about the two pyramids, okay, the whole concept is when Tatanzambi teaches us to build and teaches us to put things in a certain way. It's all about communication. It's all about connection and spiritual enlightenment and all about teaching because he's a teacher. Okay, he teaches you how to live. The issue is when we tell him how we want to live versus the way he tells us. So then this makes you like the enemy. And this is what is called a power transfer mechanism. King Kongo used Hanoka's pyramid to bring power, to bring transfer of energy. This is why you're going to say, why did the Egyptians build their pyramid under Orion? Okay, Orion is where Lucifer is. That's where he was, Orion, Orion's belt. Okay, when it comes to this planet, like I was listening to something that they said about Dick Gregory and this planet that comes around. Okay, there's this. If you've ever seen the gods of Egypt, you saw where he took the immortal up to go talk to Amun-Ra, and he said, and that was actually Nimrod, by the way. That was Osiris. and he's talking to him. That was Lucifer. Okay, so everything was built under his. That's that planet concept. Okay, so you're going to always hear truth with a lie when it comes to people who are in secret societies. They're going to always tell you certain things. You know, I heard the word billions of years. I'm like, oh, here we go. This is the Scientology stuff that's still playing out with our people. It's like everything is not like how old you think it is. The Maliki Congos know how old. Tatanzami knows how old the earth is. You know, all these things that they say. Okay. So now, the concept of the beast is for you to build the pyramid that does not go to the Father. So in his world, okay, it goes back, and I'm gonna share my screen about what happened with Solomon in First Kings. Okay. Oh, praise. Oh, I forgot to do this. Manakuma say. I always forget this. Mana sai certo, Bawadi Kulade for my zona. Pray once again to Tanzami that with this revelation you'll continue to grow in knowledge of our people, to bring back the truth and not the lies. Bawadi Kulade for our zonos, Kimba, hallelujah, to Tanzami Pungo Father. Continue to give us strength and knowledge and wisdom in this time. The Kome Beni Yabe Kongo and get to hallelujah. One of the things they're not going to tell you is these structures were found in the Congo, okay? And also sub-Saharan Africa and other places they were found. I told you they were all over America, all over the Americas. Atlantis had, you know, they had different pyramids, and it was all about. It's a communication it is a portal. It is about transfers of spirits, and that's why they had to make up all these stories about what they're used for and what they really do with them, and they lie, okay, about what they're about. It's meant to be a copy of the Most High's knowledge. Okay, so um, these are activation. Activation goes towards your. So it's like when you say the Most High dwells in you. Okay, what this means is his entire span. I mean, he's huge. You know, he's bigger than the. You know, his entire kingdom becomes compacted, kind of like they did that mockery when they did on Transformers when the cube came down and they sucked it and it was huge and then it like that. Okay, so it's like this comes into you in this. You're like a miniature version of the bigger kingdom. Okay, many people don't understand. It's like a portion of the temple of Davidi, which is like a pyramid structure, which is like a kingdom, now resides in us. Okay. This allows communication. This is one of the reasons why they had the stones, and they, you know, it was like the Most High face. He had to find out he has the stones. It was all about communication. Communication is how things function. When communication breaks down, you know what happens. Okay. So prayer, and this is what many Christians don't know. Prayer is communication, like on a cell phone. This is where they really got it. They're doing the same thing. This is how you know they had it before and they're lying about it. Okay. It's a transmitter, it's a transmission of a message. The Umbasi are like the operator. Okay, when I go my prayer, I'm connecting. Can you connect me to the Most High? I'm doing my prayer. Okay. This is where the pyramids become the problem that I'm going to talk about. If you are on the wrong pyramid, they cannot. It's like, no, I can't connect you, because this is where in Proverbs it says your prayer is an abomination. You're not in alignment. You're just like when they talk about the satellite signal, it's like your signal is going this way instead of this way. So we cannot connect you. Okay? This is why I tell people you don't understand. The majority of the world is connected to the Wizard of Oz. And they're not telling you that. You're connected to Amun Ra, and he is pretending to be the god of Abana Saka Yakubi. Okay? So you're on the wrong pyramid. So this is when it says you cannot serve two masters. So it's like you're jumping, and I can vouch for this because I know it's a fight for me. You're jumping back and forth between these two pyramids. Okay, as a muntu, as a banabetu visolely. It's like when Tatanzambi, when he sent us into captivity, there were those of us who were never supposed to be in the frequency of this false god that stayed. And this is where you get people like Nzambayeli Daniel, you get Abana, you get Mosi. But at the first, see, what happened with Mosi was he was talking. This is why he killed somebody. He said, "Oh, wait a minute. I'm talking to the wrong God. What? Okay, you tricked me." And this is where a lot of people are right now in our understanding is you got tricked. But see, here's how they're playing the game now. And this is the deception with the gatekeepers, is they're telling you who you are, but you're still talking to the wrong operator. This is how they're partly playing this game. Okay? So you're learning who you are, but they're still not giving you the connection. Or they're saying you're saying certain names, but the connection is fuzzy or it's not there. Because the problem is you cannot be on the pyramid for the one God and talk to the other God. You can't do that. You had to have left that pyramid completely and gone to the other side. Okay? The whole concept of the way the world is designed is you don't know that there's these two different pyramids. And you think that, and for people who think they know, oh, I'm on the right one. Yeah, no. This is the part of the beast deception. Okay? So it's like, no, I'm on the pyramid for the Most High of the God of Abana Saka. It's like, no, you're on the pyramid of the goat god. You're on the pyramid of the cow god. They're just not telling you. So when they talk about the song "We Are Climbing Jacob's Ladder," the Jacob that they're giving you is Esau, not the other one. You're getting Cain versus you're getting the wrong Jacob. So the ladder that you're climbing is the ladder that's, when they say every round goes higher, higher, what they're saying is his pyramid is rising. The pyramid of the sun god. Okay? Every round goes higher, higher. Yeah, because you're soldiers of the cross. Which cross are you talking about? Okay? That's the significance of the game that's being played that people don't know. And it's their role, the role of the wealthy elites is to stop you from understanding this. And see, that's the concept. When you don't know, you will do this in ignorance. You will. It's like you will be happy. You can make people. You can play with people's emotions. People would be because see, it's all about spells. The Mabel spell. Let me see if I can pull this up. Okay, let me go to the scripture. So we're gonna go to First Kings, which is in Tinu, and we're gonna talk about. I've been talking too long. Let me just share the screen. We're gonna go first to where he built the one, First Kings 6. Now, in the Testament of Solomon, why they took it out is the watchers had a hand, and the ones they were built, the demons were assisting. Okay. So you're gonna see where a lot of these numerologies things, and his name was not Shlomo. That was actually the name of a rabbi, but Solomon. All right. So in the 480th year after the people of Esau had left the land of Antiquity, so it was 480 years. Keep that in mind when you're talking about the good three and the bad three. This is technically where you're going to get your 33 from. Okay? Because there's the good three and then there's the bad three. Okay? In the 4th year of Solomon's reign, this is where you're going to see that number 4. This is important, Yala. This is where the 4 becomes a duality. Okay? Because remember, Satani was the first Maliki, he's a 4. Okay? And this is where they keep coding it. They put 4 and they do, all kind of things, 22, 40, 13, 13, 31, 22, and then they'll have 4 by itself as well. Okay. What's in the 2nd month, he began to build a house of Tatanzambi. Now, this is where you got to scratch the Gregorian calendar. This is where you got to scratch the Julian calendar. This is where you got to scratch any pagan calendar, because at this time, everything was going according to the Most High's calendar. So the 2nd month, okay, would have been after the Ipasika, because the 1st month is where the Ipasika takes place, and then the 2nd month is after that. Okay. He began to build a house of Tatanzambi. The house which King Solomon built, Tatanzambi, was 105 feet long. 6, this is where you're going to get these numbers, 35 feet wide. 8, 52.5 feet high. The hall fronting the temple of the house was 35 feet long, the same as the width of the house itself, so that the 17.5 foot width extended frontward from the house. Now, I want you to keep in mind, this is not the same temple that you think that these people are talking about when they're dealing with Solomon's treachery when he built the wrong temple. Okay. The windows he made for the house were wide on the outside and narrow. Now, if this is all completely accurate, I'm not saying that it is, because there could be changes that have been made because they're putting in the wrong temple. But like I'm saying, this is what we're going off right now. Okay. Against the wall, he built an annex all the way around it. Now, he didn't just build it by himself. Remember, the foreigners are involved in this. And went all the way on the halls, including both the temple and sanctuary. The lowest floor of the annex was 8 3/4 feet wide. The middle of the floor, 10.5 feet wide, 12.25 feet. For he made the outer part of the wall of the house step shaped so that the beams of the annex would not have to attach to the house walls. Now, I want you to keep in mind, when he's building this is not coming from him. This is why when Tatanzambi said, Davidi is not going to build it, your son Solomon's going to build it. But it is the temple of Davidi. This is not coming from him. This is coming from the Most High, how this temple is supposed to be built. Okay. For the house went under construction was built of stone prepared at the quarry, so that no hammer, chisel, or iron tool of any kind was heard in the house while it was being built. So then, what did they use? It says the house built the stone prepared at the quarry, so that no hammer, chisel, or iron tool of any kind was heard in the house while it was being built. But what they're not going to tell you is these stones were not necessarily being built by these pieces of equipment. You're going to be astounded by that. They actually started to bring it out where they could actually use laser. Okay, they had laser already, so don't think they didn't. Okay. The entrance of the floor was because remember the Most High, everything the Most High does is perfect. So he built the house after finishing, put his roof on cedar planks over beams. FYI, Hanoka could use laser. He could use technology. You're going to be shocked. Each floor, the way Hanoka's pyramid was built was not like how people, you're going to find out it was built with power. And with house and beams of cedar. This is the word that Tanzam came to Solomon concerning the house which we're building. If you will live according to my regulations, follow my rulings, and observe all my law, statutes, and commandments, the Tula, and live by them, I will establish you with my promise that I made to the father Davidi. I will live in it among the people of Isolele, and I will not abandon my people. Okay, so when he built the temple of Isolele, Isaiah, was for the Most High to live there. People are not catching this. Now, people will say, oh, but the New Testament says the Most High doesn't dwell in wood and stone and da da da. You're not understanding when the Most High says he's living there is a promise to say as long as you, this is the reason why the Most High don't live there anymore in these woods of stone, because Tata Kongo is the living temple of Davidi. Okay. He still lives, like we talked about, in the land. But he also, this is why he keeps trying to tell people, when you are the temple of the Most High, he lives there too. We got to get this right, because a lot of people are going to find out that they are misleading people. And I have already gotten warning about, I'm going to tell you what happened to me. Because a lot of these things that people don't understand, the things that I have seen that's happening now, I saw years and years ago. I just didn't know what to call it. Okay? I have seen things that I knew at some point we were coming to where we are. I just didn't know how until it started to unravel itself. It's like, okay, now I'm understanding these things. Okay, now this makes sense. It's like I said, it's a puzzle. And now I have the last piece. Okay? About who, especially myself and others. Okay? And he says, I will live in it among the people of Solele, and I will not abandon you. Solomon finished building the house, which is the Zoan Zombie, the insiders of the wall of the house built with boards of cedar, with the floor of the house and the joists of the ceiling. He covered them on the inside in wood and covered the floor on the house with boards of cypress. The 35-foot back portion of the house he built with boards of cedar from the floor to the joints, and reserved the part of the house to be sanctuary, especially the holy place. While the rest of the house, that is the temple, the Zoanzam in front, was 70 feet long. The cedar covering the house was carved with gourds and open. Now, I want you to understand this is to when he's building this, it is to mirror. It's like you said, what you do in the What you do on earth is released in the heavens. People don't catch this concept. What you do down here also takes place in the heavens too. That's why when Hanukkah was found worthy of the Most High, it's because his sanctuary was holy and stayed that way until he was taken up. He didn't turn his heart away from Tatanzambi like Solomon did. Okay. Solomon overlaid the interior house with gold and chains and gold placed before the sanctuary. So don't tell me we didn't have wealth. Go sit down somewhere. This is why they're robbing people now. You don't even know. They're robbing us now because we had the wealth, I'm telling you. The entire house he overlaid with gold was completely covered, also overlaid with the gold. And see, people are convinced that this was built by the Ashkenazi Jews. Whatever. You want to think that? Go right ahead. Okay. And Solomon was not an Ashkenazi Jew, but whatever. Inside the sanctuary, he made two Kruvim. Let me go find the equivalent to this because I know this isn't right. Unfortunately, I didn't learn to speak the Hebrew that they speak because he said don't bother with it. But sometimes it helps to know it. So this would be the equivalent of a cherub. That's what they're saying in this word. And I know that that's why they took out the gospel of Andrew, because they explained what a cherub they could move in that book. Serubi will say Wanzio. So where is Yehoah Toluka Besirebe Yembele Yatia, let's see, Besirebe. Now of course they don't look like this. Okay, so he had the cherub. That's their word for cherub. It's like, no. And the 70 each of the two wings of one of the cherub was 8 3/4 feet long. So end was at the end was a 7.5. Likewise, and the cherub was 70 feet and a half both. So they were huge, with identical in shape. Now people can say that that's what they say the Sphinx is. It's like a form of a cherub. Technically, yes, because it's actually designed to look like the cherubs that Hanukkah put in his pyramid. Stretched out, because you have to understand there were cherubs around Hanukkah too. Okay, remember he was like Solomon during the time of the days of Cain, so he was doing something similar. Okay, so that the wing was touched and the cherub was touched. That's why it says in the one scripture they all came to learn from him the ways of the Most High. All around the walls, both the sanctuary outside carved the cherub palm trees. Okay, so we have this part. Now remember what he told Solomon. You obey the law, you guard my regulations, you do what I say, I dwell with the people. This is what happened. This is going to show you that the religion you now want to call Christianity is a deception upon these people. Because here's the Most High telling him, you're going to have to do what I asked you to do for me to dwell in this house. But if you don't, I'm out. Peace. Peace out, homie. Okay, like they say. I'm gone. Well, what did he do? Let's go to 1 King. Now it says Solomon loved many foreign women. Besides the daughter of Pharaoh, there were women from Moabi, Ammoni, Edomi, Chidoni, and Hittite. Nations about, okay, now these are similar to the names they're using in Kikongo language, by the way. They got that right. Okay, that's from our language. But which Adoni has said to the people, so that you are not to go among them, or they among you, because they will turn your heart away towards their gods. Why? because they're not under the covenant. The people of Moabi, Ammoni, Edomi, and Sidoni, and Hittite, okay, they are worshiping pagan gods. They're not talking to Tata Kongo. They're not talking to Tata Kongo. They're talking to this guy. Okay, which is another name for Lucifer. That's all that is. This is the name. This is another name that he went by. Okay. All right. So now he had 700 wives, all princesses. Why they are princesses? Because he's the king, right? But technically he was like a prince, a Kosana. Because who's the king? Tata Kongo. That's why we call Mfumu Yisu Kosana. He was the prince, and Tata Kongo is the king. Okay. But at the same time, he's still king in Tinu. All right. 300 concubines, his wives turned his heart away. For when Solomon became old, his wife turned his heart away to other gods so that he would not hold heart with Atanzambi as Davidi his father. For Solomon followed this god, the goddess of, see, this is what happened. I can't tell you. And the Christians don't know, when you mix the pagan with the non-pagan, this is your God. All of these people don't know when you put this God in there. Okay? So he started to follow this goddess. Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? This is the witch. Okay? That's what happened. Look what they even say. Her name was what? Okay, let's go. Don't tell me he changed the Pasika to Easter. Lie. This is the same goddess. This is all the lie. The Statue of Liberty is this woman. Okay, this Libertas. Oh boy, people don't even know. This is the same woman they calling Liberty, yeah, whatever. You're free. You don't pray to this woman, you're gonna be in bad shape. Tell me about it. I know. Okay. For Solomon, his wife turned his heart away, and the goddesses, and of course this one, the abomination. Okay, we're copying this one. You want to know who you're fighting in this time? This is where the word Malcolm comes from, by the way. Aha. This is where the word Malcolm comes from. FYI. You think you don't know? You don't. Now you know. Okay. He attested it. So this is also another name for Lucifer. Let's go. This is just another name for Lucifer, people. And so did what was evil and did not fully follow Tata Davidi father. Solomon built a high place for this God right here. Hey man, where'd he go? Okay, the abomination of Moabi on the hill of the front of Solomon, and another for this just means brother, by the way. The abomination of the people of Ammon, and he's in the form of a frog. This is what he did for all of his foreign wives, who then offered and sacrificed to their gods. So now, this is talking about the two pyramids. He switched over to whose pyramid? Amun-Ra, which was this is the same name for him. Stupid. Okay, people don't understand. This is the same name. This is just another name for him. Okay. This is the Egyptians call him Amun-Ra, The Amorites call him this. The same names. And giving them orders concerning this matter that he should. Now watch this. So Tatanzami said to Solomon, since this is what has been in your mind, and you have kept and haven't kept my covenant and my regulations I ordered you to obey, I will tear the kingdom from you and give it to your servant. However, for Davidi, your father's sake, I won't do it while you are alive, but I will tear it away from your son. Even then, I won't tear away all the kingdom. I will give one tribe to your son for the sake of Davidi and my servant, and the sake for Solomon, which I have chosen, which is what Nsolele means. I love, or I choose you. Then Tatanzami raised the adversary against Solomon, Had, the Edomi. See, this is, I'm telling you, this is the God of Esau. Edomi means Edomite. Let's see if this Hadada is. Let's see if this is the name. This is the name of an ibis. Now you're gonna see why. Hello, this is the head of who? Thoth. You think that this stuff is not connected? It's in the scriptures, people. He worshiping Thoth. Yeah, he's connected to the Most High. Liars. I'm telling you, it's a lie. Okay, so now was the storm of the storm rain and rain god. Do you want to know what the Greeks call him? Do you want to listen? Zeus. Okay, Zeus is the god of thunder, lightning. Okay, this is the same stupid god. The Romans call him Jupiter. Hello. And he was connected to the Anunnaki, whatever you want to call him. This is I'm telling you, the god of lightning and thunder is Lucifer with these storms that you don't even know. And the Most High, this is why Mfumu Yisu could control the weather, because he was telling Lucifer what to do. He was telling this god what to do. He was controlling Zeus when he had the storm come up. Chill out, man. Okay? I'm telling you, man, they really put people to sleep and you don't even know. Okay, so now, of the royal line of back when Davidi had been in Edom, he and the commander of the army, this his name is not right. You know that. The army had buried the dead, killed by the male in Edom. For Yaakov and Isolde had stayed for 6 months. What is this name? Okay, I switched it to the. Yeah, you're gonna see. They pull up these names, and the Israel. Let me switch it back real quick to and I'll get the correct, the King James version. Let's see, what is this? Let's go. Let's see. Let's go back, and then we'll get the Kongo name. The Bantu, the Banabetu. Okay. You see how when I switched it now, all the names of those gods disappeared. You think the King James Bible is giving you the truth? I don't think so. Look at that. Almost all the names of the gods, you didn't even see the one. Where's the Edomite god at? See, his name disappeared. I told you. They're not telling you. Oh, no, here it is. Okay, I thought it disappeared. My bad. Here it is. But you see how they kind of don't tell you when you switch it around? You're missing some things. Yoabi. So it would be, yeah, Yoabi. Yoabi would be the name, Yoabi. Okay? And then fled that and certainly his father's servant go. So he made, see, Davidi was able to make the God of them flee. That's why you say this is when you see you make Lucifer run at that time. And they rose out of meeting and came to Para. If you take the word, the N off, this is where the Spanish people get the word para or stop. And then they took men with them out of Para. And we would say Pala. It would be Pala to us. And they came to Engipity unto the Pharaoh, which gave them a house and appointed him victuals and gave him land. See, this is why people don't understand at all how foolish we were, because look how it works. When you with the Most High, in spirit and in truth, look what happened here. The Pharaoh gave land to us. We don't have to go begging, oh, where's my piece of land? No. See, I'll keep trying to tell people, when you worship the right God of creation, they do what you want to do, not the other way around. They do what you do, tell them to do. This is why they wanted to disconnect us from our spirit. See, and Hadad at that time would have been similar to Osiris. And Pharaoh said to him, but thou lack with me, behold, seekest thou my country? And Tatanzami stirred up an enemy, an adversary, the son of Eliud, which fled from the Lord of the Hadadazar, the king of Zoba. Zoba, I'm telling you, I've seen this name down in Africa. I've seen this. And he gathered men this is actually like in the Kush area. And he gathered them. Now they're gonna say, oh, but this is the Damascus that I'm like, hey, they renamed. You don't even know. Yeah, there were some places up there, but they keep moving names. That's why they hide in the fact that they had Phoenician structures in South Africa. And you can't. The guy even told me, he's like, if you try to go there, they shoot you on sight. He saw them. He was from South Africa. He told me, yeah, he said, I saw Phoenician structures down there. He said, but it's off limits. So don't tell me they didn't have it. And he was an adversary solely all the days of Solomon because the mischief that Hadad did, he abhorred Isolde and reigned over Syria. This is the God. You want to know what's going on in the Middle East right now? This is who it is about. I told people, I said, the world doesn't know they've been played because this is really their God. This Edomite God that I just showed you, okay, this God is who you're praying to, people. See, God of hurricanes, storms, thunder, and rain. Okay, who bring in the tornadoes? You see why the weatherman come out there? Oh, we're gonna see this. Get out of here. We've been tricked. Okay, who bringing hurricane them to the Caribbean? Hello, storms and thunder and earth. Oh no, it's the science. Yeah, right. They played us. These Edomites are still talking to this God. You think they're not when they are. He's telling them, oh, I'm going to go do this. Okay, weatherman. Oh, that's why they say, how come he always get it wrong? Because what happens, the Most High can change his mind. Nah, go hit this place instead of that. Okay, I thought this was okay. You don't even know. Now watch this. He was introduced to the Mesopotamians by the Emir, where they became known as the Akkadian, Assyrian, Babylonian god. This is Allah. Do you think it's not? Oh, yes, it is. This is who you're calling on, God and Jesus, and okay, Baal. See, he was called this Baal Zephon, and are often simply Baal, Lord. Boom. Welcome to the biggest lie you were ever told. This is, I'm trying to tell people, I said, look, the power of the Most High will have nothing to do with this guy when it comes to the spirituality. Okay? You don't understand what I'm saying, that's on you. But many of the Hebrew Israelites don't even know the difference between this God and the Most High. They are tricked. I'm telling you they are. Now watch this. The bull was the symbolic animal of Hadad. What's sitting in front of Wall Street, my son? Ah, you won't understand what I'm telling you? Hey! Okay? Now watch what he's going to tell you. He appeared bearded, often holding a club and thunderbolt while wearing a bullhorn headdress. How many Native Americans you see put the headdress with the bullhorns, like with the buffalo? Yeah, same God for Native Americans. Oh, they know. Okay, you think that I'm telling you the Native Americans wearing their head with the headdress? Their God turned against them with the white. They don't even know. This is the same God. This is Cain. They brought. This is why Cain. They. This was the God of Babylon that turned on the world to bring our God in masquerade, saying, I am the God of Abraham. No, he is not. Now, watch this. He was equated to the Greek god of Zeus and Jupiter. Oh, and what the Roman Catholic Church did is they took this joker and told you he's the God of Abraham. No way. This is why we're telling you, this is Buddha. This is Buddha to the Japanese and the Chinese them, okay? Yes. This is why this is the so-called God of Abraham. No. This is Lucifer deceived the whole world. You're on the wrong pyramid. You just don't know. Okay. Now, we're going to go to what he said. Now, if you want to, now we're going to break it down. In Revelation, we're going to read all the angels and the Umbasi and what he told them. Because like I told you, there's only 7 churches, people, and you don't understand is all the when you say you're a part of the church, what you're saying is you are the temple of David. Are you sure? People are going to find out, no, you the temple of Adon. You, like I said, you Moabi. When Solomon, when he got his heart turned to other women, and he went and built that temple, and he didn't keep his guard, the Most High regulation, this is our fight in this land. People don't understand all the images of these type of gods have been put up in different forms in some way around America, North America, South America. Look how you say he appeared bearded. Mfumu Yisu Kuso Kongo had not very much of a beard. Okay, but at the same time, the Levites, we also had what he called the beard. Okay, do you understand? Do you understand? Let's ask this question to people who think they know. When Tatanzami made Adama, did he have a beard? But he was the Nzoan Zambi, he was the spiritual Nzoan Zambi of the Most High. Okay. Let's go back to let's go Revelation. I was gonna go and see if I have it pulled up. No, I don't have it. So let's go switch it. All right. So now we're gonna go. Switch it back to the CJB. To the Maliki Kongo or the episode, here's the message from one who holds the 7 stars in his right hand and walks the 7 gold, well, we know the menorah is in Samu, which means light. I know what you have been doing, your hard work. You have preserved and you cannot stand the wicked people. So you tested those who call themselves emissaries but aren't. And you found them to be liars. You are preserving and you are suffered by the sake with growing weary. But I have this against you. You have lost your first love. Now, I'm going to ask this question to anybody that's going to be listening to this. Who is the first love of the 12 tribes? They're going to say, of course, the Hebrews going to say Yah, which you're only saying half the name. They're not going to let you say Yah Kongo and put them together. It's not going to happen in the Freemason-controlled Hebrew Israelites. No way. Okay? They know who Lucifer know he hate King Kongo, but you can do whatever. All right. So now he only puts it. He's Godzilla. Okay, don't even go there. They've been lying to you about that. That's Lucifer. That's the dragon. Okay. So now he says you can't. He says that here. What love did they lose? Oh, they lost the love of Jesus. No. I'm telling people, pastors are out here. They got everybody focused on the creation and not the creator. Oh, but we say God. Yeah, but he has a name. Oh, we say Lord. Oh, don't take the Lord's name in vain. What is his name that you're taking in vain again? Oh, Lord. Oh, God. What? No, there's a name that's you don't even know. His name is taken in vain all the time by his own people because they took away the name. You're going to find out. Okay? So now what does he say? The love that you have lost is for the one who sent the Messiah, not him. This is what he's talking about. The one who told Davidi, how did you lose? What happened? Your heart did what? It turned. So then where is your heart going? Your heart turned to who? This guy. Him. Her. Okay? This is what he's saying. All right? But you have this in your favor. You hate what the Nicolaitans do. I hate it too. What were they doing? They were burning to the goddess. They were worshiping this joker, this person right here. And burning their Nikes. That's why I said you're not supposed to do that. This is what the Nicolaitans were doing. Right here. You don't even know. All right. I hate it too. Those who have ears, let them hear what the Spirit is saying to you. This is why I told you the Holy Spirit will not take you to a God that is not the God of Abana and Saka and Yakubi, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. No way. You will not do like the Nicolaitans. No way. You will not do like what the Edomites were doing. No way. You're not going to do what Rome was doing. No way. So if you are thinking that it's okay, you are under the spell of the wicked gods of Edom, of Cain, of Lucifer. It's a spell we fighting. I fight it every day because I'm surrounded. I mean, the sorcery in this place is horrific. It's bad. The Maliki of the Masonic Smyrna write, here's the message from the first and the last who died and came alive again. I know him, you are suffering, how poor you are. I know the insults of those who are calling themselves Bayuda. It was really Bayuda. Or Bayuda. What's the other word we did? But aren't. In the contrary, they are a synagogue of the adversary. Don't be afraid of that, of what you're about to suffer. What did they suffer? Okay, what did they suffer? What did they do? The same thing they're doing right now. A lot of the same stuff people even don't know. They just got different weapons. Okay? What do you think the prison system is for? You don't even get it. Who runs it? Look, the adversary is going to so what do you say? He's going to have some of you thrown into prison. Yep. In order to put you to the test, you will face the ordeal for 10 days. Remain faithful even in the point of death. So Tatanzami, he lets you do what? Go to prison. He also let them try to kill you. Those who have ears, let them hear what the Spirit is saying. He who wins the victory, the word victory really comes from that God Astarte, will not be hurt in the second death. That's why, see, they put Lucifer's name in the Bible and you didn't even notice it. The word Victory comes from this goddess. Right here. And they're going to say, oh, mythology. Yeah, right. You just say her name. Her name's right there in the Bible. Appears during the First Punic War and was the translation or renaming of Nike. Oh, it's mythology. What the kind of shoe you wearing? Okay. The Greek goddess of in the peace of war. Nike would become familiar to the Romans as the goddess of the Roman Greeks of the Punic Wars. She was worshipped in the Magna Graecia, mainland Greece, which is a subject of Greek myth. Yeah, she wasn't no myth, people. She's Lilith. Around this time, various Roman war deities began to receive the epithet or victor, conqueror of Invictus, unconquered. Now you're going to see where the word soul Invictus. The soul means the son of the unconquered, Invictus. The victor is the conqueror. This is where you get the word winner and loser from. Who's the winner? Who's the loser? Invictus. By the late Republican and early imperial eras, what do you call the party that you're voting for with Trump? Republican. You think you're not in Rome? Go somewhere. Victoria has become civilian and military. Watch this. Popular civilian and military goddess, both in association with the deities and her own right. She was given the temple and the Palatine Hill. It was used to store war, booty, What do you do? And it's hosted by the Magna Mater's statue. Where do you think they got these names from when they were writing down on these documents during the colonialism? While her own temple was under construction. See? Conquering victory, Victoria Victrix was given the credit for imperial success. I'm telling you, people, you don't think that you're still talking to these gods through the religions that they gave you, you fool yourself. It's all part of the lie. Now watch this. Now it says, he who has will not be hurt by the second death. What is the second death? That's when you're completely separated from the Most High. You don't even know. The Maliki Kongo, the Masonic of Pergamum, right? Here is the message from you, Mbasi, message. From one who has a sharp double-edged sword. Yeah, he came to bring peace. Not I know where you are living. There where the adversary's throne is, it's still there. And of course, it was in Germany. And it also went to Russia. And it was in America. Okay, you don't get it. Yet you're holding onto my name, and you did not deny trusting me at the time when you were faithful witnesses. Antipas was put to death in your town, there where the adversary lives. Remember, he's one of the other 70 disciples. Nevertheless, I have a few things against you. You have some people who hold the teachings of Balaam, who taught Balak to set a trap for the people of Israel, so that they would eat food that would be sacrificed to idols and commit sexual sin. Do you want to know why the majority of the people are committing sexual sins against the Most High? This is why I keep trying to tell people. What did it say? You eat the food that has been sacrificed to idols and commit sexual sin. Why do we pray over our food a certain way? What do you think is in the food? They put spirit, I heard people talking about people that got killed by eating food, okay? You think they don't do this still, you have been deceived. Likewise, you too have people who hold the teaching of the Nicolaitans. What are they doing again? They were mixing the teachings of the Nicolaitans was they were saying that many of the things you thought were bad were good, including sexual intercourse stuff. I'm telling you, they still doing this in Rome and among a lot of these people in the churches that are in secret. You don't know that many people have told the history of them getting sexually molested while people were reciting scripture. Yes. That's the Nicolaitans, people. Those who have ears, let the Spirit saying to winning, I will give some of them hidden manna. I will give some of them hidden manna. Kuso Kongo has secrets. I will also give a white stone which is written the name that nobody knows except the one receiving it. That's why I'm telling you, you have a name. You have a name, and the only person that's going to know it is the one that receives it. To the Maliki Kongo, this is how you're sealed, by the way. This is part of that seal. You have a name that he's going to give you. The Maliki Kongo, here is the message of the Benan Zombie, whose eyes are like fire and flame, whose feet like burnished brass, where people kind of say, oh, that's just how he saw him. No, he was black. He was melanated. He's a Muntu. He's a Banabetu. He's Solidi. His eyes are on fire because he's ticked off, boy. I know what you're doing, your love, trust, and service. I know you were doing more now than before, but I have this against you. You continue to tolerate the woman who claims to be a prophet. Okay, let me tell you what happens to people? I was shown this. Remember I talked about the pyramid. You're under there burning. There's a guy I remember I listened to a guy who did a song. He kind of put that out there in the Hebrew Israelites. He said, you want to be under them pyramids burning. Okay? Yes. You don't understand. If you listen to the prophecies of a Jezebel spirit, you're going to get what? Watch he said, I'm throwing her into a sick bed. Hold on, let me tell this guy. He's calling me. Sorry. I gotta decline it. Sorry. Hey, Sammy brother, I'll call you back. I'm doing something right now. I'll praise this. All right. So, okay. He says, I'm throwing you into a sick bed. All right. But I have this again, okay? I give her time to turn from her sin, but of course she did not. So here's what happens. With these two pyramids that I'm talking about with the beast, okay? King Kongo is on one side, Lucifer is on the other. You don't think that the God of Evil is now King Kongo? That's your business. You don't want to believe that? That's on you. Okay? The Tatanzambi and Pungu, Yakongo, what he sees and what he knows is this. He sees those out here putting stumbling blocks with this prophetess spirit. He sees the other people trying to stop her. This is why I have this, when the people talk about the spirit of Eliah, okay, the spirit of Hanukkah, the spirit of the Most High, what we are trying to tell you, you have people out here who are prophesying with this spirit, okay? I'm fighting. I don't know how he designed me. I am constantly battling this woman, okay? She cannot, yeah, I lose. Yeah, we fight, okay? But I'm like, no, kick rocks. We fighting all the time, okay? What happens is if your spouse or your family members are surrounding you with her spirit, you're in a tug of war. And that person is now stealing power from you. This is why the Coastal Congo said, the Mana said, don't be unequally yoked with an unbeliever. What does that mean? Anybody who's attached to the wrong spirit. Okay? This is what we're talking about. That's why, in order to come to the Father, they got to come through you, not the other way around. It's a lie. These people come from these gods and these other nations, like what happened with Solomon. Okay? That's why they're going to lose interest in the Most High. They're not going to focus on him. They don't want to have nothing to do with him. Okay? When this spirit is is starting to take control, they're going to want to do it however they see fit. That's what they do. And see, like people like yourself and myself and others, this is the everyday struggle, is because they think that this spirit just stops. No. This spirit comes after you every single day when you switch sides. When you switch sides to Congo, when you go back to the God of Abana Saka Yokubi, this spirit is coming after you every day to pull you back. Because remember, King Kongo gave us over to this other side, and they lying about it. So now they got everybody saying, hallelujah, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, whatever you want to call. Okay? And you're convinced you're talking with the communication of it's like, no. This is why we got to do the cleansing. This is why we got to do the purging. I can tell you right now, this fight is intense. And the Most High is starting to turn it in our favor. Okay? So when you see, like I said, I have seen the same type of thing. It's like you're either building the Most High's kingdom, or you're building, which is the real Yakubi ladder, or you're building the imposter Jacob. You don't understand. There's a real one, and then there's an imposter. This is how Lucifer masquerades. There's an imposter Jacob, and there's a real Jacob. There is a real temple, and there is an imposter temple. That's what Messiah said, that there will be false messiahs. The false messiah will have you building the temple of Amun-Ra, Lucifer. The real messiah will have you attached to the spiritual temple of Tatanzam, of the Most High, Tata Kongo. Sonini Nanini Somanla. But the temple of Lucifer has agents running over to you and saying, I am with the Most High. No. They're working for Jezebel. They're working for, you don't even know. They're running back and forth. Oh no, this guy's crazy. Stay over here. This is what they do. This is why you cannot see that you are building the wrong kingdom. This is what it means when it says the blind will lead the blind into a ditch. What does that mean? Those who cannot see will continue to go as if they know they're going the right way when they're not even close. They're going the complete opposite, and that's what we did. We hit the brakes and said, oh, wait a minute, you lied to me. But once you get to that point, this is where the fight begins. Now other people are going to say, oh, no, don't. This is when he said the truth, how we're going to fall into the people. And they're going to, some people are going to get drug away from it. Come away from that. That's no way. We have the truth over here. Other people are going to say, oh, I'm hearing for a while. Oh, no, you see how crazy these people talk? Come back over here. Okay, they choke it out of you. Okay, what are the birds that's eating it up? The harlot bird, the crows, the ones that came to go devour the corn during the time when they were building the temple, the false temple. Because that's really what the Tower of Babel was Nimrod's temple. It was a temple that was dedicated to Baal. You don't understand this. That same God of the Edomites. Okay? So now, this is what he's telling these churches. He's saying, you switched over to Baal, is what he's telling them. You have switched over to Baal. Now, here's where the world has been deceived by the religions of this world. You think that these 7 churches switched it back. This was our fight with them back in the day. No, this is why we ran from them, because they did not switch it back. We were fighting them like, hey, you mixing this up. No. Yes, you are. Okay? No, do my thinking thing. The same thing happened with Muhammad. Oh, no, I'm learning from them. Yeah, but you got to do it our way. He wasn't doing that. They tried, and then Lucifer, no, they switched it. You don't even know. Okay? In Judaism, they are never, they have even said so. We are not talking to the Most High. Our God is Lucifer. They said that. Okay? So now you are convinced as Christians, we're not talking to we're fighting Lucifer. How? If you're not, how can you fight Lucifer if your God is Zeus? No way. Oh no, our God is not Zeus. Yeah, because the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he never approved of mixing anything and changing anything that these people have done. It's a lie. They made you think it is okay. It's not. Bowing down to statues. They even changed the way the cross looked. All this stuff. The one person I just read where they said, I talked to the Eastern Orthodox Church, they go from right to left, up, down. Do you know that they changed that to the left to right in the 1800, what is it, 1100 AD? The Catholics started going left to right, that. Okay? But it's still not, they both wrong. I told you to tell the children, okay? But they got the X they're using for the imposter, Cain. I told you there's 3 strikes and you're out. That's the crucifixion right there. Okay? But they hide that. Okay? Because I told you, this is their duality of how they pretend to be the Most High. The X belongs to him. Now you see where the name Malcolm come from. I'm not saying that he didn't have any truth. He did. But who was he really serving? See, every Muslim, I know they're going to get mad. There's no way we're talking to Lucifer of bliss. Oh, yes, you are. Because an Edomite, an Ishmaelite cannot sit in the house of Davidi and be the high priest. No way. Muhammad came from the Arabs. He was from Abana, Abraham, but he was the cut off bloodline. So you have to come back through the 12 tribes to get to the Most High. We don't go through you. You come through us. Wrong way. You don't go through the God of the Arabs that they created. No, you come through the God of the 12 tribes. You think you're talking to him. No, you're not. This is the issue. People don't realize that the names we name your children can literally bring spiritual demonic energies upon them. That's why we changed our names to look like theirs when we never supposed to do that. We took their names. That was a no-no. As Banabeto Isolele, you have disconnected yourself. The house, my last name was Bailey. That dude was a devil worshiper. 100%. All of those the names that came out of that house, they were all doing witchcraft and sorcery in England as the high level. What do you call those people? The elites. Okay, all of them were doing this stuff. You're gonna find out. When you take someone's name, you don't understand. You take the spirits that are attached to it. They are. When you use different types of names, there are spirits attached to these names. That's why people are doing like this now. I'm blind. I don't hear. La 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 la. Yeah, because the spirit that you're attached to is blocking this. You have the Spanish people Oh, we have the Gomez, we have the Garcia. You don't even know where these names come from. The Latin that they speak in, oh boy. You think it's a holy tongue? You fool yourself. Latin is not a holy tongue. That's why even my Amona said, I come and speaking in your language so you understand me, but this is not the language of the Most High. He said this. Okay? All right, I'm going to end with a song here. I'm going to pull it up. Actually, let me do it through the television because you never know what these things are going to get. If it's in the background, they can't give you a strike. Now they're getting really strict with this stuff. Oh, you put it on there, it's a strike. Is the remote over there? Thank you. But like I said, people, you know, what's going to happen? You know, and that's why you're seeing a lot of things that are happening now are taking place because all of this stuff is starting to fall apart. And they're transitioning people into you're being transitioned into a whole nother system. You just don't know it because they're doing it under wraps. And so you're the transit. Like I showed the person, this guy was shaking people's hand, and they're like, "Who is this guy? And where did he come from? And all this stuff." Okay. And I said, "Yeah, he is part of the whole process of how they're transitioning people into this order." Okay. I'll play this song right here. Nzayayi. All right. You know, and that's why I tell people a lot of this stuff is
I'll pick a one.
The beast system has always been keeping you on the wrong side of things. The problem is people will say, I don't believe that. Okay, because it's what you believe that keeps you from the truth versus the lie. But then they'll say, oh, but that's your way of seeing it. It's like, of course, because that's how the system is designed to protect itself. The system is designed so that when anyone actually exposes it, you will not catch it. That's the whole concept with the wizard. If you catch him and you try to expose him, he's going to flip it around upon you. Always. That's the whole part of the game. He's going to turn it and say, oh, no, you don't do this. Okay, well, I'm not living, and you're going to see how you're living compared to what because you're not going to see your life through heaven's eyes if you're talking to the wrong God. No way. That was the whole point of this. If you think you're talking to the God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, you're looking at it the way you're looking at that from that perspective. Like, as a Christian, I'm doing my part. When the creator said, I didn't create a religion called Christianity, what are you talking about? This is not mine. This is, I said, I have a way that was called the people of the way. He said, these religions you're out here, I didn't create Islam. I didn't create anything contrary to what I told Solomon. And what Tata Nzambi sent Klistu Kongo to do. He said, I didn't come to change anything or undo it. I just came to fulfill by becoming the temple. I am now the temple. It's now spiritual, and it's me, and it's not the physical one that the Most High are going to knock down. So when you see people out talking about Klistu Kongo changed this, no, he did not. The devil is a liar. Even Toko and Maya Mona said he gonna come and put it back in. That's why you think they threw him in prison. They threw them in prison because they were trying to put it back from what Rome did. Hello? They were trying to put it back from what Rome did. That's why he kept trying to. No, you cannot change this. He was always in. They have this council that they bring you in front of when you're a preacher that says, why are you diverting from what we agreed upon back in the 1700s? Is when that's why when they even created the 7-day Adventist, when they changed the day of worship, they had to go before the council for that. And they said, nah. They said, wait a minute. We agreed that the 7th day was going to be Sunday. Oh, but see, the problem is the only reason why they got away with it is they knew. They said, no, that Jesus you're talking to is still Apollo. That's what the Masons started that. It's still Apollo, but we're gonna, so they were the only thing it was no different than what was happening with Judaism, with the Messiah being attached. So you're still mixing it. It was still wrong. What they were afraid of is when the black people would stop worshiping on Sunday, we would wake up to certain things like, oh, wait a minute. And this is actually starting to continue to happen. Okay? So now, what people don't understand is that's always what they're concerned about when they start changing things, is how it will affect the 12 tribes' understanding of the scriptures. What will that do? That's why Toko was dangerous. That's why Kimbanga was dangerous. That's why Patti was dangerous. That's why Gunganzami was dangerous. That's why all of these people that were starting to teach, even my grandparents, why were we dangerous? Because it was like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay? We're dangerous because it changes the frequency of what pyramid you're on. The communication changes. The light in the crown that they know you have starts to light up. It's dim. You don't see it. It's dim when you follow the wrong God. It lights up when you continue to obey the right God. It's like a flicker and then it glow. Okay? And that's what we're talking about. Anyway, let me start the song. Again, I don't own the rights. It's not for distribution in any way. It's not for me to profit from in any way at all. You can get to hallelujah. And I will attach it. Can you turn that light on for me, please? Huh? The one over there. Excuse me. You lost it? Did it fall? Because I never touched it. Musadisa. Servant. If you think this isn't the language of the Most High, I can't help you. Because they mix this with the Yiddish to get the Balam Kadash. And they use this language in America. Golo. You heard that before? Golo. Power. Yisu. We never said no Jesus. Mfumu Yisu wiza watu sadisa. Mfumu Yisu wiza watu sadisa. That means he's the covenant. Mfumu Yisu wiza watu sadisa. Weezy, covenant. That's like George Jefferson, Wheezy. That's where it come from. Ingita Bayete and Kosi Kembo, hallelujah. Tatondele Masakjila for tuning in. Thank you very much. We call it once again Salakyambote away. Like I said, we are now in the next phase. I have heard stuff that they're talking, and it's like I don't think anybody understands. It's like this world is not what you think it is. They have been preparing for this. They have been looking forward to this. And they really think in this next phase that they have the opportunity to defeat, but we have already turned the tables on them. It's already starting to go against their favor. That's why they now understand that King Kongo, Tatanzambi, he is getting ready to do exactly like what he said. I am going to burn the whore with fire. Go read Revelation 17 very well. It says they are going to burn the whore with fire. Who is behind that? When you go once again, I'm just going to do it real quick. I'm going to read it. Go to read Revelation 17 carefully. When it says they shall make, who is making war against the Lamb? All of the people on the wrong pyramid. It says, the beast you saw was once, now is not, and will come from the abyss, but is on its way to destruction. Correct. The people living on earth whose name are found written in the book of life. Christianity, the Christians think that their name is written in the book of life. Not if you're worshiping, if you're doing paganism, no way. Since the founding of the world, will be astonished to see the beast that once was, now is, but is appear. This calls for a mind with wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 hills on which the woman is sitting. Also, there are 7 kings. They got 7 hills, and this is why they call it, you don't even know about New York. And they did the same thing also in Rome. 5 had fallen, 1 is living, and now yet to come, must remain. The beast which was and now is not is the 8th king, which comes from the 7 and is on its way to destruction. Yep, that's why we're falling now. The 10 horns you saw are 10 kings who have not yet begun to rule. They have now, but they received the kings of 1 hour along with the beast. This is what's happening. They have one mind and they have one over the beast. They will go to war against the lamb. The lamb that they're fighting against is Kuswa Kongo, Mfumu Yisu Yisaya, the Banabete Chiluba. If you don't, the Bayuda. If you don't understand that, if you're going to keep going with the one Rome gave you, that is the beast. He is at war with Tatanzambi. But the Lamb will defeat them because the Mfumu, King, and those who are called chosen will overcome along with him. Then he said, the waters you saw are people, nations, languages, and tongues. This is what you don't understand. All the world is what he's talking about with the different languages, the different nations, the different tongues who are opposite. If you are on the Amun Ra, this is you. For the 10 horns that you saw, they will hate the whore, bring her to ruin, leave her naked, eat her flesh, and consume her with fire. For Tatanzami put it in their hearts to do what will fulfill his purpose. That is to be the one mind, that is to be of one mind. So you want to sit there and talk about who created the New World Order? Oh, it was Lucifer. He gave them over to be the New World Order. You have been tricked by the beast. He says it right here. And it says, purpose that is to be one mind and give their kingdom to the base until Tatanzami will have accomplished their intent. And the woman you saw is the great city that rules over the kings of the earth. Again, and the woman you saw is the great city that rules over the kings of the earth. What city is that? You better check it. Where do all the kings go to rule that control the earth? All right. Zola Quingi, Sambololo, Wezi Yabe Kongo Kutwala, Ingeta, Umbote, Saugona Dumalang, Kimbo.